Welcome again to VoiceCon Amsterdam. I'm Eric Krapf, Conference Co-Chair and editor of NoJitter.com. I'm here with Chuck Rutledge, Vice President of Marketing for Quintum and NET. Is that now? Quintum is the company that you've been with for a number of years,
Absolutely.
and Quintum was acquired by NET a short time ago.
Indeed it was.
Tell us a little bit about how that acquisition happened and what it's all about.
Sure. It's actually an acquisition that's made a ton of sense, I think, for both companies. And it was really interesting as part of Quintum, we got to know NET to see how we really shared a philosophy in terms of the way networks need to evolve and how you can address those in a way that really minimize the amount of disruption to the existing network and make that transition from legacy technology into the world of IP as painless as possible.
And now, most folks, I think, when they think of Quintum, think of gateways, voice over IP gateways. Is that a fair summary, or what? How should people be thinking of the company now?
Well, we're clearly in that space. There's no doubt about it. I really look at our expertise, though, as one of helping companies evolve their networks. I think that is the skill that we bring, both from a core competency in our products as well as the services that we bring to our partners and our customers. And indeed, we do make voice over IP gateways. A lot of the things we do would fall into that space. We don't call them voice over IP gateways. We call them voice over IP switches. And that's largely because they are intelligent devices, of which a gateway is one of the elements.
Now, when you talk about helping users transition their networks, what exactly does that mean? Moving from TDM to IP to unified communications?
Sure, and that's certainly an example. One of the things that we have seen, whether it was early on with customers wanting to voice enable their networks, voice enable their call centers, or now moving to unified communications, every time we'll go in and work with a customer, we find that they are at some place in sort of the stage of evolution. And everybody's in a different place. And what we're able to do is get them from wherever they are today in the least disruptive way to where they want to go. And in some cases, that will be from a TDM world into an IP PBX world. In some cases, it may be a world where they have a TDM PBX, they may have an IP PBX, and they're deploying Microsoft's unified communications platform, and they need to integrate the various elements together. They want to leverage the investment that they've made both in the TDM technology as well as the IP telephony technology, and have the UC deployment take place in a way that minimizes the disruption to that existing infrastructure while making the greatest use of it. And we allow them to do that with our intelligent tenor and VX voice over IP switch and gateway products.
And how, when you say minimize the disruption, how exactly does it minimize the disruption?
Well, what we've really done with our technology is, again, having this intelligent switching and call routing built into it, is we can go into an environment, whether it's TDM or SIP based, interconnect those devices, take a TDM PBX, take SIP phones, take an IP soft switch, bring all those together in such a way that we minimize the modification of those existing network elements. So we sort of take them as they are, so to speak, bring those existing network elements together. We can do any kind of number translation that's required, any kind of embedded call routing that's required to get the calls from one place to another. There's devices that aren't compatible. We can do translations to make the streams of information compatible between different types of devices. So we can make all this work in such a way, again, with the integrated intelligence, that you don't need to change those existing elements. So leveraging that existing elements minimizes the risk, minimizes the disruption to your infrastructure.
And it sounds like also a good investment protection story for a time when people are concerned about those issues particularly.
Well, it's an excellent investment protection story because as well as making those modifications with the existing network, we're also aware that the network's going to continue to change, and we'll be able to adapt to that change going forward. So you've got that future protection built in.
So is it fair, I mean, you say that you really are much more than a gateway. Is it fair to go as far as to say that it's middleware for a UC system?
In some respects, it sort of acts that way, indeed. And that, again, if you think about the fact that I've got two very intelligent, call processing systems that I want to work together, that we can provide the call processing between those that really does allow that integration to take place.
Well, Chuck, thank you very much for being here at VoiceCon Amsterdam, and thanks for talking to us.
Great, Eric. It's been a great pleasure to be here. The show's been a success, and thank you.